Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
And good afternoon. We cannot seem to get much of a break when it comes to all these storms. We're dealing with yet another day of storms across our area.
Right now, we have a damaging line moving out of the region this afternoon, but you're going to need to keep an eye on more potentially dangerous weather headed our way overnight. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking it all for us on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Starting to calm down in some places, but not others.
Yeah, it really is. For central Kentucky, that I-64 corridor and north, when we were slammed about 2 hours ago. Now that is off to our south and southeast. But you mentioned the damaging wind threat here into southeastern Kentucky. Leading edge of this line of thunderstorms is right on top of the London area. Severe thunderstorm warning is out here, and those severe thunderstorm warnings now go all the way to the east. The light show with this is off the charts from London, Hal Rogers Parkway, Hazard over toward Pikeville, Big Sandy Valley. Behind that, you still got some heavy rain, so flash flood threat continues for several of these areas. But overall now, the worst of the weather across central and eastern Kentucky is lining up from London across Manchester to Hyden. We follow that a little farther to the east, folks around Buckhorn into Perry County, and right on into downtown Hazard, getting hammered right now, Hindman, Knott County, and over toward McDowell into Floyd County. Southern parts of the Prestonsburg area still with some heavier rains, but that's an area that has been worked over, and you got to watch the creeks and streams. We're bound to see at least some local high water issues. Let's go back into parts of central Kentucky to see how things are looking for the Lexington area. You heard Don mentioning all the roads that were blocked because of trees or had some trees impacting traffic on those roads. And better than a dozen different roads, I believe he was talking about, with some wind event going on, or wind damage with trees across the roads. A flash flood warning is still out for several counties into central Kentucky. That includes Fayette County. But I imagine a lot of those waters are now beginning to recede. The rains have ended. Flash flooding means it's going to come up really quickly, and then it's going to go down in a lot of cases just as quickly as well. Thunderstorms to the west of Lexington, though, from Danville back into the Louisville metro, have been kind of moving over some of the same areas. So if you're watching us from Boyle County, northern parts of Casey County, and then back up into Bardstown and toward Louisville, you got to watch for the flash flood threat here too. But we're going to take you all the way back to the northwest into sections of Indiana and Illinois, as this is going to be an area where more thunderstorms are going to develop, and that may extend even into parts of the Chicago area and toward Wisconsin for more thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorm watch is out here. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell joins me now. Jim, the threat for tonight is going to be whatever fires up here is going to come shooting on into central and eastern Kentucky again.
You're absolutely right, and I can show you that severe thunderstorm watch that's been posted out across parts of Wisconsin. Already they are concerned about this area. Keep in mind, they had thunderstorms just like we did within the past 12 to 18 hours that you would think worked the... That's going to continue to develop, and we'll watch thunderstorms complexes, as Chris mentioned, start to roll over the same real estate. And guess what? That puts us in our direction, right down toward the south and east. That's where these thunderstorms will start to travel. So guess who's there? That puts all of us right back kind of in the target for all of this activity. Now, as far as any storm reports here over the past little bit, we're starting to see a little bit more coming into play across parts of southeastern Kentucky, as now they're slow to come in once they start to arrive, but seeing some reports now out of Laurel County around East Bernstead, an area very familiar with storms. Trees down across Highway 490. Numerous trees down along Highway 30 East across parts of Breathitt County. So now they're trickling in as we're seeing more and more information become available as the storms have passed some of these areas. We go into Stamping Ground in Scott County. Trees reported down through that area. Over into Harrison County around Oddville, you've got multiple trees down through there. And of course, we've had some flash flood reports in Harrison County and especially out into Fleming County here. And another report out of Bourbon County, downed tree limbs and power lines around the Garrett Park area. So those are just a few that we have. Those are some of the newest ones that we've received here over the past probably 15-20 minutes, Chris. A very active day, and it could get even worse as we progress into the overnight hours tonight.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But right now, under the gun for the strongest winds, guys, that Hal Rogers Parkway corridor into southeastern Kentucky. For the rest of the area, We get a few hours to breathe before more storms begin to crank up. We're not out of the woods by any means. We've got at least 2 more rounds to go through tonight and tomorrow.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, this stormy weather is being blamed for significant damage to a Lexington house.
WKYT's Monique Blair is live on Courtney Avenue, where a wall in the home's basement has collapsed. Monique?
Yeah, Amber and Sam, I'm out here on Courtney Avenue, where just before 4 o'clock, the foundation on this home did not look anything like this. Now, Lexington firefighters say this home's foundation completely collapsed as a result of the heavy rain we just had. Major Hounds with the Lexington Fire Department says this wall is made of concrete blocks, and because the soil has been completely saturated with water with all the rain we've had in the past few weeks, the soil next to the house basically destabilized and caused the sidewall of the home to collapse into the basement. Major Hounds says nobody can be inside this home until repairs are completely finished. Now, I did talk to the homeowner who has lived here for 7 years. He says he was inside his home when the foundation collapsed. He says he is still in disbelief, and now he's worried because we're supposed to have even more rain tonight.
It looks like a flood. Yeah, looks like a bomb went off. I'm really worried about tonight. I know we're supposed to get at least 2 more rounds of storms, and it's completely exposed, and it's already weak. So that's my big concern, is what more can happen in the next 24 hours.
Now, the electric or the gas line was not affected, I'm told today, when the foundation collapsed, so there weren't any gas leaks or anything. But Major Hauk does tell me that the sewer line did snap, and so that will have to be repaired again before anyone can go inside this home. I'm reporting live in Lexington. Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, certainly a mess for that person living there. The most common problem from this storm has been trees coming down. There have been reports of fallen trees all across the city. WKYT's Mike Linden is live along Bryan Station, where one fell on some power lines. Mike?
That's right, Amber. In front of me is Briar Hill, but behind me, that's the direction toward Lexington. And there is that tree sitting on the power line. But what's also interesting of note, what's right next to me here on the roadway, that is a live power line that the police have coned off. There's still 1 lane of traffic open, but crews with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet are here working to clear the roadway. So we're going to take a walk. We'll take a look at that tree. There's part of it on the roadway, but the rest of it is actually sitting on top of the line. And as of now, crews haven't told us whether or not they believe that that could result in additional parts of the line falling onto the road as the evening goes on. But that line is still live. Crews have not arrived to
All right, live television there, having a little bit of trouble with Mike's microphone there. Well, these storms have been putting down heavy rains, causing flash flooding in a lot of places. Debbie Manning sent us this picture from Days Mill Road in Fleming County, and you can see how high the water is just outside her home there. A close call in Bourbon County, where a tree fell in a car. That tree came down as the car drove down Lexington Road around mile marker 3. Lexington Road is closed between Paris and Lexington. The driver was shaken up but not injured. Bourbon County officials tell us they've also had reports of utility poles and other trees down as well.
Several outdoor events have been canceled because of this weather. Lexington's Bluegrass Fair and the Franklin County Fair are closed because of the weather. In Franklin County, they're worried that storms will continue throughout the fair's run. Fair President Richard Mitchell says lightning is what he's most concerned about.
Well, if lightning strikes are within 15 miles out, the carnival has to shut down, and we have to shut down too.
The Miss Franklin County pageant scheduled for tonight has been pushed back to Wednesday night. We're always tracking storms on WKYT.com, and you can too. Use an interactive radar to zoom all the way into your neighborhood. Download the WKYT News and Radar apps to keep up with the weather when you're on the go, and share your pictures and video with us. Email them to eyewitness@WKYT.com or use the hashtag KYWeather. Chris?
Yeah, severe thunderstorms still ongoing across parts of southeastern Kentucky. We'll put a track on those, and more importantly, we'll track more storms developing to our northwest and try to time those into central and eastern Kentucky. Team coverage continues in a moment.
A lawsuit against a county clerk who refuses to issue marriage licenses went before a federal court today. Brown County Clerk Kim Davis stopped issuing licenses in June after the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage. The ACLU filed suit on behalf of 4 couples. Today, a judge heard from the couples. Davis didn't attend because she wasn't served a summons. The hearing was continued, but another date has not yet been set.
There is a new drug fueling a dramatic increase in the number of overdose deaths.
The Fayette County coroner says a powerful painkiller called fentanyl is becoming the drug of choice for abusers. As WKYT's Miranda Combs investigates, fentanyl is already outpacing the number of heroin overdose deaths.
Last year we had 19 fentanyl deaths and we had 55 heroin deaths.
This, according to the Fayette County coroner, is 80 to 100 times more potent than morphine and 15 to 20 times stronger than heroin.
We have more fentanyl deaths now than we are heroin deaths.
Fentanyl is a Schedule II controlled substance.
So there's a lot of fentanyl out there.
It's used to treat severe chronic pain
Through pills and films that are dissolved in a person's mouth, through IVs.
Lately in Fayette County, it's showing up at the coroner's office.
All these mixtures become a death sentence to these individuals.
In 2013, there were 3 overdose deaths that involved fentanyl. In 2014, that number had increased from the previous year by more than a dozen. And this year, as of June, there have been 28 fentanyl overdose deaths in the county.
These can be mixed with other drugs, but the fentanyl was the lethal dose.
In medicine, it's a great drug. But, you know, in terms of an abuse drug, it's one of those that's so incredibly potent that that's what makes it so dangerous.
Lexington emergency room physician Ryan Stanton says a couple of months ago they started noticing a need for more Narcan, a drug used to reverse the effects of opioids like heroin.
But we've seen people that have had to have 6 milligrams, which is 3 times the typical dose to wake them up, which suggests something else that's in there, another opioid, fentanyl being one of those that potentially is in there that's making it, having to have more medicine to reverse that and wake the people up.
We're certainly seeing the mixture of the two.
Lieutenant Mike Wright with Lexington Police Narcotics says a lot of times people think they're getting heroin. Dealers are mixing fentanyl with heroin and selling it, causing even more danger for an already dangerous drug.
They don't understand how much they're getting compared to the amount of heroin they're getting in those combinations of mixtures, and that unknown is more likely what's causing most of the problems.
And fentanyl comes in the form of a time-released patch. Ginn says he's finding people chew the patch, which gives them a large dose at once. While fentanyl is making its appearance in Lexington overdose deaths, prescription pills are still the most overdosed drug in Bell County. We'll take you there at 6. At the live desk, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
Miranda, thank you. Now, coming up at 6, an update to a story that we brought you earlier this year, what the U.S. Attorney is doing to combat overdose deaths.
Deputies arrested a man they say had sex with a 13-year-old girl. 25-year-old Jack Gross faces charges including rape in the case out of Powell County. The sheriff's office says that Gross also asked an underage girl for nude pictures. He was arrested last night and is out of jail today. An SUV damaged a Lexington building this morning. The SUV ran into Fortune Business Center on Beasley Drive, breaking out a window. Police say a woman left her son and daughter in the car. We're told the son decided to move the car and hit the accelerator instead of the brake, causing the crash. He does not have a driver's license.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. It is a blood test designed to detect problems in unborn babies, but as Dr. Malika Marshall shows us, it may also be able to find a health threat to mothers.
Good morning. A prenatal blood test came back abnormal when Marin Mejia was pregnant with Owen. The non-invasive prenatal test picks up DNA from the mother and the baby. Further testing showed the baby was healthy.
Then the doctor said, so then there's still that abnormal result from the test that we need to sort of look into.
Marin was 39 and having bleeding she blamed on hemorrhoids. Tests later showed she had anal cancer. A new study from Tufts Medical Center shows these widely used prenatal tests can detect cancers in pregnant women. Researchers looked at 8 women with abnormal results.
If there's cancer, the tumor is shedding DNA into the mother's blood as well, and that is what is accounting for this imbalance.
Marin's advanced cancer spread to her lymph nodes and lungs. Doctors delivered Owen at 32 weeks so she could start chemotherapy and radiation.
I'm thankful for every minute I get to spend with them. I refuse to believe that there's going to be any other outcome other than it's all going to be okay, because the alternative, unfortunately, is not something that I even want to think about.
The cancerous nodules in her lungs are shrinking, and she hopes for more good news after scans later this summer. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News.